draw the conclusion that the economy is well?
Well, it's early days yet, and I believe that that's some of the mistakes that we occasionally make by when something is improving, we quickly jump that we are at the end of the tunnel. No, I believe the signs are there. The movement, like as earlier on previous weeks that I've been here, I've told that by the last quarter of this year, things will improve, and the signs are that the city is coming, and it all amounts to us again reducing our level of imports and ensuring that we have the structure, we have the factories and the industries that will grow, that will produce what we have to consume and spend less on importation. And the signs are there. The government has taken steps in that direction. Once you've taken steps in that direction, at least a little bit of confidence also is brought into play. And we have seen what is happening. The dollar is coming down. Hopefully, by the end of the year, we are looking at maybe 2.5 again, where it was previously. I believe so. I believe so. It's now about 2.9.
2.5?
Yeah, now it's about 2.9
on the market.
On the market, it's coming down, and it's good. It has to come down for all of us, you know, because when it's so high, I mean, a lot of people will have to be laid off. Because you need more money to run your business, which means that you will not be able to employ more people. But if the CD-dollar ratio is low, at least it expands the economy. So all of us should be happy and ensure that we do the things that will enable us to have some stability within the economy. And this is not politics. This is Ghana first. It is very important because it affects all the. When the dollar was running, the city was depreciating. They didn't ask you which party do you belong to before they will send the money to you. All of us were in it. So we have to come together and move this country forward.
Often when you listen to the Minister of Finance, etc., we're told that now we're going to have a syndication of the CBD loan. We've also gone for the Eurobond. We'll get to 1 billion from there. And then domestically, we're told that we have sugar factory here. Something is going to be done, etc. Are these just pinpointers to show that, well, these are the steps that have been taken to make sure we reduce our dependence on imports?
But you need to have those landmarks to send a signal that we are taking steps to do that. But if you just come and sit down and talk about it, and you don't start, the Commander Sugar Factory, when it comes to play, naturally, is going to reduce the import.
But those factories are just 1 in 10 that we need.
No, you need to do more. So you start from somewhere, right? Starting from Commander, there's Asuchari there, up north. So you have to position these factories at vantage points. And you're not talking about only about one factory, but it has to be a multiplication of factories, not only in the sugar industry, maybe in the rice as well. The basic things that we as a nation, we should be able to produce them ourselves. All countries are doing that. What they did for their consumption, they are producing. Ghana is blessed with abundant rain, abundant sun.
That's what we say.
It is. Not that, Roland, not that what we see.
How did we get here in the first place? That's the question.
We got here, you see, yesterday was Founders Day, right? And you go back to the founder of this country, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. What did he do? He set up those factories that will have propelled us to a first-class economy if we had maintained that. We had the Kasanuma, we had a jute factory, and now we have to import jute sack from Sri Lanka.
And as governments also, we have supervised diversification or divestiture of many of those.
Because when you toe a certain political line that I don't believe in state owning a lot of enterprises, then you go ahead and do what? To diversify. But the state must at least have a certain percentage of state industries that they control. Then the efficiency and the people who are working in those industries must be me and you who are Ghanaians have been employed. But then what do? When we are giving state institutions, what we do, we don't run it as if it belongs to us. But we say it's a state in Abejuma. As for Abejuma, why should I bother to go to work at 5 a.m. or I'll go to work at 11 a.m. And then the first 5 hours of the day is wasted. But at the end of the day, you are going to be paid for 8 hours work. And that is what has. So we need a new attitude, a new mentality to move forward.
How then do we give the right signs to industry, for example, when now we're reeling under serious energy crisis? We know that we're told gas has now been restored from Nigeria through the West African gas pipelines, etc. But when we know that intermittently we're going to have power cuts, and they form the thrust of the bane of industrialization.
Precisely. So we have, over the years, sat down, allow population to grow, and allow facilities for us to outgrow facilities. You know, when Akosombo Dam was put up, population was 6 million. Over the years, it has grown, and the realization of expanding those sectors dawned on us very late. So now what are we doing? We are taking steps to do that, and it's very paramount. So once again I say, can I have some water?
You want some water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say that over the years we have really sat down to allow things that will propel us to deteriorate, and we are now trying to push to get them on the right track. That is why, without the power that you are talking about, whatever we are talking about will not be achievable. So we need to have a paradigm shift. It's very important.
It's and the story on being quoted, where Dr. Wampa is being quoted, he says, according to Dr. Wampa, for example, we've had the banking industry recording a lot more growth despite the difficulties that we're experiencing. And this is evidence in trends in total assets of banks. And we know that total assets they seem to have increased by 39.7% to 44.2 billion. And so it means that if you do the maths, 39% less of 42 will give you what the state was the last fiscal year. And so the indication of the Bank of Ghana is that, well, even though we're having difficulties in the economy, we've had the assets of the banks growing, and we've also recorded increases in expenditure in construction and a number of relatively good areas. It's sometimes the statistics may be speaking like this,
but the reality.
Yes, the point is perhaps also the expenditure is happening at the high end of the market and not happening at the micro level. That's
the problem. The expenditure should trickle down, right? But there's always a multiplier effect, and that is for if you go in the construction industry, right? I believe there are certain things that you should take cognizance of. If there's a building site, you know, you're going to have the person selling food, wachi or whatever, to position herself there. Somebody selling units, will position itself there. Somebody selling, let's say, used clothes, will position itself there. Water position. So there's a multiplier effect. It eventually trickles down, right? It will eventually trickle down. That's why it's very important that there must be infrastructure development. There's a deficit, and when you do this, it propels all economies that have grown because of there's a massive infrastructure development and roads, you name it. The cement factory will work, the quarry will work, you know, all facets of the economy will work. So even though you are saying that you are not seeing the benefits of in the short term you might not see it, but in the long term it's going to trickle
over the medium
term. You know, let's look at just beyond here. The road, the circle interchange. I mean, you see it coming up. I'm sure the workers there are being paid some money. So what is going down? They are going to go down the lane. Most of them, wives and children, are going to school. They have the money to pay the fees. So, but without that interchange, you can think about people who will not be employed. So it's very important that we don't belittle the statistics, right?
Okay. Now, in going forward, with all these assurances that the Bank of Ghana keeps giving us, and now we're going to have a lot more interaction with the IMF, how are we expecting that by the close of the year, and we have, after this very month, the last quarter to look at, the last 3 months, and that by January, there will be significant improvement in the economy?
Oh, there will be. I mean, once even the gas pipeline, the Atuabo comes on stream, it's going to be a game changer. Because you spend about 600 million dollars to import crude and that kind of thing. And once we are able to get our gas seriously, you can see the massive savings that this country will make, and that alone can be used to the domino that you are talking about. Funds can be pushed in that direction, you know. So there's going to be a game changer, definitely. By the end of 2014, come 2015, I think the signs are there, with the CD and the dollar also showing some improvement. I believe so. And with the IMF negotiation, which I think also will help us to manage the system. I believe so. I believe, like I've been saying all along, there's hope at the end of the tunnel.
Okay,
definitely.
Now, on the front page of the Business and Financial Times, we have let's work hard to achieve single-digit interest rates, and it says if the country is really and truly desirous of a prosperous manufacturing sector, then it has no option than to work on a single-digit interest rate regime, and that's according to James Asarieje, who is the president of the Association of Ghana Industries. And he says, how can we compete with businesses in other jurisdictions which are borrowing at 5%, 6%, or maybe 9% compared with what we have here, between 26% and 35%. How do you survive as a business, not to talk about the various other challenges like energy and lack of infrastructure? This is pinpoint.
It's pinpoint. I mean, interest rate is true, very high. And this has been reversed for a very, very long time. And also, it shows that the banks themselves, successive ministers of finance and Bank of Ghana have been told to at least have a regime or a situation where they can really do something about the interest rate by at least determining what interest rate the banks will charge. And efforts have been made in that direction. It has not been successful, right? The banks will tell the cost of borrowing, what the cost of money and that kind of thing. But then, with 26% and 35% interest rate, it will be difficult for companies.
In many countries, like the more developed economies,
it's about 3%.
When they witness that their industries are not doing well, they are not recording high growths, especially in areas like manufacturing, etc., they rather reduce the interest rate.
That's true. For you to encourage you.
Sometimes it almost comes to, for example, in Japan, it came to 0%.
0%.
You go to the bank, you take the money at a time you want, you bring it.
Yeah, we need to read there. I think we've got a long way to do that. Definitely. You see, most of the banks outside our jurisdiction or outside this country, you know, tend to have serious state intervention in certain areas. But here, because of the free-for-all mentality that we've got here, we allow the banks to do whatever they want to do. But that is not helping the situation. Like I said earlier on, ministers of finance have been, a lot of seminars have gone on where the banks have been asked that government should intervene and tell them, look, charge 8%, right? But have we got the political will to do those kind of things? These are the problems.
It's good you mentioned the political will.
That's true.
Talking about politics, though, we have an aide to Alan Kyerematen. And we know Alan Kyerematen is one of three contesting the presidential candidacy slot of the New Patriotic Party, and Philip Langdon will be helping us with the discussions. But we'll take a breather. When we come back, we'll invite Philip into the discussion. So stay on.